Hi, I'm Brendan Murphy and I'm chairman of the North Tipperary Show. The North Tipperary Show was founded in 1875 and what started out as an agricultural show has developed into a great family and community day out. Now on the August Bank Holiday Monday, this field here would be a hive of activity with the classic cars, the cattle, sheep, poultry, horticulture, trade stands and all sorts of things, and just this field would be full of people. But due to COVID-19 we've had to cancel the show this year. But instead what we've done, we've put together a video for you for the next 30 minutes to enjoy with some memories, pictures and stories of the shows over the years. So sit back and enjoy the video, and I hope to see you back here in 2022 for the North Tip Show.
I'm Councillor Michael O'Mara, Cathaoirleach of the Nenagh municipal area. We as a municipal authority, we're delighted to be associated with Nenagh Show. We have a fairly sizable input in the organisation and running of the show in conjunction with the committee. It's a tremendous show every year, showcasing the best of Tipperary, not alone in agriculture, but in all other aspects of crafts and food and artisan food. And this is a new initiative, this virtual reality show. And I want to wish the committee all the very, very best with it. And I hope you enjoy it.
Hi, I'm Margaret Stone. I'm Secretary of Nenagh Agricultural Show. We're here in the military barracks grounds in Summerhill where the first show was held. So in 1875, the first agricultural show was held here in the military barracks grounds at the top of Summerhill. A huge crowd attended it. There was over 1,000 and the entry fee was 6p. At the gate they collected £10 that day. There was over 84 entries and the categories were poultry, pigs, horses, cattle, barley, straw, vegetables and cakes. The objectives behind running the show was to improve the breeding stock and encourage farmers to have better tillage, better crops, and it was a social day for the farmers to meet up. Preceding every show, there was a dance held that night in O'Mara's Hotel where speeches were made and prizes were spoken about and the day in general, and everybody was very happy. At the show in 1877, this medal was presented to a John Gilbert. He's known to be down around Shinrone or Burr, and it was a prize. 1935, it was a Diamond Jubilee of Nenagh Show, and my great-granddad had been chairman up to that, and then he was stepping down and his son, John Munsey again, was taken over as chairman. In 1983, Nenagh Agricultural Show purchased the new grounds that we're presently in outside on the Bursakane Road. The main men behind it were Sean Munsey, Tom Dillon, Jimmy O'Hara, Jack Pole and James Gill. Up to this, Nenagh Agricultural Show had been held on the 14th of August. It was then diverted back to the bank holiday weekend in August, where it is presently held. Nenagh Agricultural Show is now really based around families, and it's a family day out. There's new machinery, there is different breeds of animals, there is entertainment for kids, and there is also the side shows, donkey derbies and different events.
Hi everybody, my name is Catherine Lee. Some of you know me as Kate. I've been involved with the dog show for more years than I care to remember. I started as a child over 40 years ago under the watchful eye and leadership of Dennis McSweeney. Back in those days, most people had a mongrel, proper Heinz 57 as a pet at home and might bring him along to the show if the family were coming for another reason. I remember one year word went around that somebody's relations were coming down from Dublin and they had a red setter, and some of us kids were so excited going to the show to see what a purebred dog really looked like. Of course, things have changed over the years, and nowadays most people have either purebred dogs or a recognisable crossbreed. And dog ownership, of course, in Ireland has hugely increased in the last few years, with the result that this section of the show is very, very popular. We try to cater for everybody. We've got all range of exhibitors, from children who are just showing the family pet to professional dog showers who are going on to compete at kennel club level, and they're looking for some practice for both themselves and their dogs. We've had some great judges over the years. We've had kennel club judges. We've had a range of people who work with dogs, so either in rescue, in boarding kennels, groomers, and the one thing that they all share is a passion for and great knowledge of dogs. No more than any other section of the show, we are always stuck for help, so both on show day and in the preparations. So if there's anybody out there, young, old, or in between, who's interested in dogs, we'd love to hear from you and we'd love you to get involved. Bottom line is we try to promote responsible dog ownership, and we hope that everybody has a safe and enjoyable day out with their dogs. We look forward to seeing you on Show Day 2022.
Hi, my name is Catherine O'Brien, and I wanted to speak a little bit about the finances for the North Tip Show. We rely on the support of a lot of organisations and people in order to be able to run the show. In particular, we rely on our sponsors. So we have some very generous sponsors and very loyal sponsors, both from the Nenagh area and from North Tipperary in general, who've been very loyal to us over the years and very generous with sponsorship. Both financial and also providing us with other supports. For instance, we have a neighbour to the showgrounds who provides the use of his field for parking every year, which is essential for us on show day. We also would have sponsors who provide bins on the day or provide refrigeration for the catering area. So, you know, that all helps to keep the costs down on show day, and we're very grateful for all that type of support as well as the financial support. So in addition to that, then we would have individuals who provide subscriptions to us and have done for many years. And again, every donation that we receive helps us towards the running and the costs of running the show. In addition to that, then we have the exhibitors themselves. I mean, the main thing about the show is that it is a competition and an opportunity for people to bring their exhibits and showcase them on show day. And anyone who takes part would provide entry fees, and that helps as well towards the costs of the show and towards the prize money that's given out after the show. And then there are local businesses who would avail of trade stands on the day and hope to do business and to publicise their own businesses on show day. In addition to that, then of course there's the people who come to support the show every year and who, you know, come through the gate and pay their fee. And without all of those people, we really wouldn't be able to make the show workable. So we're very grateful to everyone who supports us in any way. We look forward to having the show back again next year, all going well, and we look forward to seeing everybody back.
Hello, I'm Billy McNamara. I'm head groundsman here at Nenagh Showgrounds for the last number of years. I took over from a great man by the name of Christy Morgan. Of course, back in the day then there was big marquees and all of that before they moved out here. But since we've come out before the show, about 2 weeks leading into it, there's a lot of work. All the grounds had to be cut, prepared, and then the week leading into the second week leading into the show, you have tentage going up, people moving in, putting in stands, putting in X, Y, and Z, and then show day comes and we're ready to go. And then as we lead into show day, the morning of, I suppose it's the early opening at 6:30, 7 o'clock. Flag is up, and then we're off, and people start arriving, and a bit of mayhem starts around the gates, and with people's stalls coming in, and horse boxes coming in, cattle coming in, and sheep coming in, and the next thing, the grounds is getting full. And of course we have the great Chris Lynn, who is our neighbour here, and he's across the road, and he gives us the use of his field for parking. So that's not an easy task either, because you need a lot of stewards to steward all of that. So we lead on during the day, and it gets very, very, very busy. All our gates are very busy, and we have great staff on all of those. And we have to watch what's happening and man the traffic, and so we're very good. We come to the end of the show around 5:30, maybe 6 o'clock, and it's wrap up time then, and we try and get some of the equipment away, but there's a week's work after the show, taking in jumps and getting the grounds cleaned up again, all neat and tidy. So we just lead on and we get everything tidied up, and then it's on getting ready for next year again. Thank you.
I'm Declan Lee. I've been involved with the North Tipperary Show since the 1980s. I was chairman in the 1990s of the show. Of particular interest to myself was bringing vintage vehicles to the show. We had tried over the years with mixed success. We had steam here, we had various trashing, we had old agricultural vehicles, but it was difficult to get it off the ground with so many established shows all around the countryside. The catalyst to making it work was the foundation of Nenagh Classic Car Club in 2014. The Classic Car Club came on board and pushed, and manpower, I suppose, was one big issue. But with promoting the show roundabout, and we try to do something different here in that we have a modern, open approach. We're not particularly hung up on how old a vehicle has to be to have classic status. We're an open, welcoming club, so we've tried to do things a little bit differently. We've had a number of themes over the years. We've had Japanese, German, we had Boxy Starlets the first year, which went very well. And I think our reputation has gone through the countryside as a welcoming, open venue to people. So at this stage, we've grown to cars in excess of 500 cars, and we're not overly pushed about growing it. Obviously, space is a factor. We've 25 acres here in the field. Very few clubs have access to such a fantastic facility as the showgrounds here. It's laid on. We utilize the space just inside the gate. It's very safe. It's flat. It's very well maintained, and I think that's part of the attraction why a lot of people like to come here to the show. As well as that, as I say, the club puts a lot of effort into making people feel welcome and enjoying the day. And over the years, that has seen the day grow year on year. I think the first year we had about 100 cars, then we had, 150, in excess of 200 cars, 300 cars, and it's just grown and grown. But that's not the be all and end all with us and the show that we're running here. We are trying to do something a little differently with the themes and with little bits of exhibitions and pieces we've done. We're not overly hung up on how big it gets. We're looking for something a small bit different. People enjoy coming here. We have people traveling from abroad to the show, which has happened very quickly. And we're very happy with how it's worked out and how it's dovetailed in with the rest of the show. Obviously, you have people coming from the town to walk out, and those that travel from further afield. And when they come inside the gate, the first thing they meet is the vintage display. And they travel on from there throughout the rest of the show and come back as they feel. So we think it has been a great success so far, and we're looking to build on it going into the future. But a big part of it is the help from Nenagh Classic Car Club. I mean, they're fundamental in the thing working. It's about manpower. It's about the effort that's made throughout the year before show day. They're handing flyers out. They're traveling up and down the country. They're inviting people to it. And when they come, I really do feel that, from the feedback we get, that it's very positive.
I'm John O'Sullivan, and I am Nenagh Classic Car Club PRO. And I've also just joined the Nenagh Show committee this year, and I'm in the enviable position of just joining it when all the work is done. So it's been a great welcome. I have to say I've found the club brilliant since returning to Nenagh in 2017. It's been such a welcoming atmosphere. The show has been a great opportunity to get to know people and to reconnect with a lot of people who, I suppose, living away from home for 15, 16 years, I had lost that contact with. Nenagh Show and the Classic Car Club have been very, very welcoming to me, and they've been brilliant in also facilitating my interest in French cars and cars which are a little bit different to everything else. And they've really given me the opportunity to take that and to run with it. And for 2 years running, we had growing numbers of French cars arriving to the show. Renaults, Citroens, Peugeots, Simcas, Talbots, which normally anywhere else in the country, they don't get space to show their cars. They don't have an occasion to mark. So we're very, very lucky in that we had that opportunity and the support was there. Since joining the club in 2017, it's been a great experience in terms of being welcomed in, been introduced to different people, been made, I suppose, feel part of the family. Which has been brilliant in helping me, I suppose, my family to settle in Nenagh and to get to know people and to experience the community which Nenagh has to offer. And that's one of the great things about the show and the club is that you get to meet a lot of people. It's a really friendly and family-friendly atmosphere, as well as a little bit competitive in terms of who is the best car and best car on display on the day.
Hello, I'm Margaret O'Brien. I'm involved with the North Tip show for many years. I'm actually third generation of the O'Brien family to be involved in the show committee. My grandfather Alfie O'Brien was involved back in the 50s and 60s, and my parents were Tom and Kathleen from Bailey Farm, and they, up to I suppose maybe the 1990s, were very involved in North Tip show. So currently, I'm responsible for the horticulture end of things, looking after everything that's in the big marquee. So that would be from the fruit, flowers, vegetables. Then we have the cooking, jams, knitwear, everything. There's art, photography. It's a great exhibition. It's a lovely area on show day. You come in and you see all the colours. It's brilliant. I think the big thing for me is the kids bringing in their artwork and their baking. And it's to get, I think, children involved in the show as early as you can, because that kind of keeps them involved then going on to later, because that's how we started in our family anyway. We were used to getting our little bits and pieces together and bringing them into the show in the back of a car trailer sometimes. No, it's a great day out in Nenagh. It's great for the locality. It's great for the town. I would invite any family to get involved, particularly with the exhibits. Bring their homemade buns, bring their jam, whatever they have. It's just to get involved and to be part of the day, because there is great excitement, I suppose, when the judging finishes and people are racing in to see, did I win something? It's just all part of it, isn't it? And I suppose with myself, I was involved with the show committee as the secretary for a good couple of years. I was very honoured, I suppose, to be the chairman for 2 years. But in the current role, say, in the Horticulture Hall, I like to think that I'm following on from a few very formidable ladies from my youth anyway. There was Beatrice Cleary from Cloughjordan, there was Mrs. Morrissey from Nenagh, and Mary Gill from Newtown. Fabulous ladies. They did a great amount of work down the years. And I like to think I'm kind of running their little show for them now. And I suppose, without wanting to give away my age, I remember my first ever summer job as a teenager was in the courthouse in Nenagh. And my boss was Mrs. Sill Smith, who was secretary to the Nenagh show for a good number of years. Can't even remember how long. Wonderful lady. Anybody who has come to the show down the years will remember Mrs. Smith, Cookie as we used to call her. Wonderful lady. And I think she's probably up there looking down on us and wishing us well as well. I suppose we have a very dedicated crew of not just ladies, there's a very dedicated crew of stewards that show up every year to help us in the Horticulture Hall. We have the ladies that are there for quite a while now, looking after the baking and the cooking. And we love to see new people getting involved. Actually, I'm just thinking of, there's one particular teenager, she's over from County Clare, and she comes over every year to give us a hand with the poultry, which is a very big area. It's growing all the time in Nenagh, so that's great. And again, I'd say if anybody out there would like to get involved in the committee, like to come on board and give us a hand on show day, we'd really welcome the new faces and the new energy. So I suppose from me, all I'd like to say is I hope to see you all in 2022 when we're back bigger and better than ever. And thanks for your continued support.
Hello, my name is Dawn Jones, and I've been involved with North Tipperary Agricultural Show for the last 10 years now. I'm on the committee and I help out every year to put on the fabulous show that we all know as Nenagh Show. I was privileged enough once to actually chair the show, which was absolutely fantastic. A lot of hard work, but well worth it. So I help with the attractions on the day. So obviously everybody who comes to the show would know there's the animals, there's the show jumping, there's the trade stands, there's the fabulous tea, coffee and sandwiches and all those things. But we try to look after the family units. So any families coming together with young children or teenagers, grandparents, there's loads to be done. And in years gone by, we've had the bouncy castles, which definitely appeal to the little ones amongst us and tire them out for bedtime at the end of that day. We've had trampolines for the slightly older children. We've had some fabulous things such as the zorbing balls one year, and we've had the gyroscope, which was one of the craziest of attractions we've ever had, that spun people in all directions, upside down, sideways, and people got off that attraction a little bit green at the end of that day, but loved it. But one of our best attractions that we found over the years has been the rodeo bull, and we hope in 2022 to have that attraction back again. And it appeals across the board to everybody. We usually end up with a bit of a competition going on to see who can stay on the longest. I think 2.5, 3 minutes has been the record, and we see granddads competing with sons and dads competing with teenage children, and generally it can be a 5-year-old that wins on the day, and there's a small cash award at the end of the day for whoever stays on the rodeo bull for the longest. So it's a really good day out coming to the show on the bank holiday Monday. We're all looking forward to being back here again in 2022. Please God, the weather will be as nice as it is here today, and we all look forward to seeing you. Thank you.
My name is Conor Ryan. I'm Chief Executive of Arrabawn Co-operative here in Nenagh. I'd just like to take this opportunity to wish the Nenagh Show and the people involved in working with it the very best wishes, and keep the good work going. For many years, Arrabawn Co-op has been the chief sponsor of the show. It's a very important day in the life of people around North Tipperary area and Nenagh in particular. It's become traditionally an agricultural show, but today it's a big family day. And it wouldn't be possible only for the work of an outstanding committee and a number of people who over the years tug out and make sure it happens, and happens to a very high standard. So we'd like to wish that committee the very best wishes and to keep up the good work, and they have our full support going forward.
My name is Sinead Lee, and this is my colleague Mary O'Halloran. And we are the stewards in Ring 3, the Pony Ring, one of the most exciting rings on show day. We have a very early start. We start around 10 o'clock in the morning, and we have a very busy day. Back in the 1980s, there were about 8 classes in that ring, and in 2019, we had over 25 classes. So we're trying to, I suppose, keep everyone happy. Do you want to say anything about the classes, Mary?
Yeah, it's a mixture. We start off, I think, with the horses, and that's pretty interesting. You have the ponies start first, I think, and then followed by the horses. So it's very busy. We get a lot of running around backwards and forwards, and for the most part, people are very patient, and it's just you hope for the weather. Everything depends on the weather in the morning, and it's sort of it's a bonus if things are working good that way. Starting with the ponies and the youngsters is lovely as well. It's great.
Some of them would be down to about 3 years of age,
Yeah,
and
just
they're
the real
they're very cute. Very cute.
They're usually a good start for us. Because if anything is going to go wrong, it will go wrong early in the day, and you're used to it. By 2 hours later, you're pretty much used to all the.
No, Mary, we reached fever pitch at that stage, and we don't know our whatever from our whatever. We're affiliated with the Irish Pony Society, and we follow their rules. And our judges are picked from their panel of judges, and we rotate them every year. We do have our favourite judges who are easy to work with, but most of the judges would have had their own children going through competition, and they know what it's like to be in the ring from the other side. They are usually very, very professional and very patient with all the ponies and riders.
Yes, there's we do the different breeds as well. You have the Connemara, you have the Welsh, there's the Mountain and Moorland. So there's a good selection there. You have the Ridden, and there's in hand as well for ponies. There's a great selection.
And we have a local pony class too.
Local pony, which is terrific for people who just want to come out and have fun with the pony that they mightn't do an awful lot with during the year.
There are points awarded for first, second, third and fourth through the IPS. So that's important that we keep a record and we submit it the following week to the Irish Pony Society. And I suppose what it's all about is the champion and the reserve champion of that ring. And it's usually hotly contested. The Dublin show in the RDS is usually a week or two after us. So some people would use that as a sounding board or the last trial before they hit Dublin. Every year we produce a schedule, which is basically a list of competitions that are held on show day. And it's usually available a month, 6 weeks before the show date. And in the inside centrefold is the entry forms that you fill in and hand in to the show office, which is usually set up in town. And in that schedule is a list of all the entries and some detail maybe on how they're to be presented, 6 buns on a plate and different things like that, and different rules. From the point of view of the ponies in Ring 3, which is very hard for a Nenagh person to say 3, these rosettes, the champion and the reserve champion, are the big prizes in Ring 3. It's the honour and the glory to win these at the end of the day after all the hard work.
The horse section is very well supported every year as well, because I suppose there's a lot on offer there. We cater for Irish draft, there's Irish draft classes. We have the traditional Irish horse foal qualifier, we have an Irish draft foal qualifier, and that attracts a lot of attention and support. We also there's a few cups there, so it's quite competitive.
The shed with no chutes was pouring water all over the place, and there was 2 inches or 3 inches of muck and puddle at all the entries. So we had to send over to Kelly's at Bantan to get 3 lorry loads of sand and gravel and make a path in so that people could actually walk into the shed. The following year or the year after that, we had a drought. It was just like this beautiful weather. And the equestrian shed had been used by the horses quite a lot, and there was a lot of dust and on the floor. When all the entries were made and the judging done of the cakes and vegetables and bread, buns, all the fancy stuff, the crowd were let in. And they stored up all the dust. And by 5 o'clock in the evening, when they came to collect their stuff, it wasn't edible. It was covered with a horrible lot of dust. It couldn't be eaten. So they took it home. Some of them threw it away, you know. The vegetable side there, I used to enter for the Rowan Cup. It was an accumulation of vegetables. And I won the cup 3 years in a row. And again, as somebody said, the original dance that night was in O'Mara's Hotel, but in my time, it was in the Scouts Hall. And that was the big night out on the 15th of August. One of my jobs over the last few years, because of the fact that I was a fire officer, I got the job of being safety officer at the show. And that was trying to keep people safe, and especially with horses loose around the place and all the rest of it. But it worked out fairly well. I didn't get into any big rows, I think. One of the other jobs I got towards the end of my time in the show was to be a judge with Andy Whelan, my friend, who we were both into photography. And we judged the photographic competition in the different grades for the younger people and the older ones, you know. It was quite good.
Hi, I'm Helen Tappinder, and I help with the trade stands at the North Tipperary Agricultural Show. I suppose I've been helping there for probably about 10 years. In that time, we've developed the trade stands from farming, agricultural stands, machinery stands, to lots more stands. We have the local farmers market come. We've had local artisan food producers come. It's a great opportunity for local businesses to showcase, you know, what they do in the town and around the town. It's great for crafters, you know, those people who spend the winter doing their hobbies and maybe have excess stock. They can come. We have ladies and gentlemen selling candles, jewellery, home knitting, all that kind of a thing. It's great for people coming from the town because it means that they can come, they might have a few spare euros in the pockets and they can take away something that's been handmade, hand-produced, and they're supporting the local community too. What I'd be saying is, if you are somebody who's beavering away at home making things and you'd like to have a stand, they don't cost very much money, and it's a great way to showcase what you can do. If you want to come and join us and sell your wares, make contact with the show. You can make contact through the Facebook page or via email. Make contact with the show and we'll see what we can do for you.
My name is Henry Dudley. I've been involved in the show here in Nenagh for almost 40 years. If things were normal, this year we'd be having our show next Monday week. And we used to always have our show on the 15th of August, which was a church holiday, and still is. But we switched it then. In 1996, we switched to the first Sunday in July. And after consultation with Johnny Neelan, who was secretary of the Munster branch of the GA, the Munster final was scheduled for the 30th of June. Lo and behold, I was down in Cork, sitting in the stand, 2 minutes to go. The match was level between Tip and Limerick, and it was the first time that I wanted to see a result. But it ended up in a draw, with the result that we had a show clashing with the Munster final the following Sunday, which naturally didn't help our show. I've been involved in the cattle section, and there'd be cattle coming from almost all the counties, almost around 20 counties. They come from as far up as Sligo down to Cork, the far side of Cork, up to Monaghan. And it has been a privilege to be involved in the show, and hopefully we'll be back and running next year.
My name is Ryan O'Mara. I'm a new member of the committee for the Agricultural Show. For me, the future of the show is all about what it did so successfully for generations at this stage, and that is adapt, improvise and modernise. When the show started in the 1800s, it was purely an agricultural show, and that served the time and the people of the community at that time. But for me, the show is now a lot more than that. It's a community event. It's a day out. It's a day for a family, whether you come from a rural area or an urban area, whether you come from an agricultural background or a non-agricultural background. The day is a chance for all of North Tipperary and our community to recognise, celebrate and acknowledge the very special role that agriculture plays in a rural area like North Tipperary. Agriculture is the backbone of our economy here in North Tipperary, and for me, this show allows us to situate the show on the outskirts of an urban area like Nenagh, bring agriculture into that area so that people from urban and rural areas can celebrate and acknowledge our show. That is what we have done for many generations in the past, and hopefully if we continue to modernise and adapt the show for future generations, it will be here for generations and communities to come.
Hi, I'm Conor Delaney. I am a solicitor based in Nenagh, but I come from a sheep and tillage background in County Wexford, and I'm responsible for the sheep section at the North Tipperary Agricultural Show. On show days, I'm ably assisted by Mary Brady, Dave Mahon, Charlotte Jones and William Jones. Now, I think we'll all agree that North Tipperary is not exactly renowned for its sheep farming, but don't let that take away from the quality of the classes that we have here. A lot of exhibitors have left here stating that our classes are some of the best that they've seen at Munster shows. So we're very proud of our sheep tradition here in North Tipperary. We have pedigree Suffolk, pedigree Texel and pedigree Blue Texel classes, along with the usual commercial crossbreed classes. And the winner of the best Ewe Lamb for breeding gets the Harry Howard Cup. We also cater for young handler classes as well. We have under 12s and we have 12 to 16. We'd also like to take this opportunity to thank all of our sponsors, without whose generosity we would not be able to run the sheep section. So all things going well, we look forward to meeting you here again on Bank Holiday August Monday 2022. Thank you for watching this video.